Welcome to another episode of Buddha Talks Hoops. Nate here with former Hoop Scoop collaborator. It was about time we got him back
Yeah.
on. Phil, welcome to the pod.
Hello,
How
everybody.
does it feel?
It's good to be back.
It's palpable.
Like I've never left.
It's absolutely palpable. Well, today we got All-Star break, so no games going on, but I think it's a good time to do a little deep dive of the team that is near and dear to our hearts. I'm hoping to do some different team deep dives in the next few weeks, get some specialists. We got Max coming on, talk to Celtics. If anybody else is a fan of a team besides the Knicks or Celtics or a relevant team, let me know and you can come on. But I think it's a good time to do it before the playoffs start and we get into nitty gritty of the games. Let's take a second, talk about these teams. So, both rocking the Knicks merch. I went with the
Oh,
Knicks
we're doing
warm
the
up
flex.
from a couple
Uh,
years ago. And Phil, it had this. What do you think about the 3D font? I thought,
we've
listen, I'm pretty over it with the jersey, but I thought it worked pretty well with alternative apparel. I thought this was a pretty nice warm up. Got this from Steven Lior. It was a nice gift, little Nike warm up. So
good
yeah,
stuff. Not a fan of the double lettering. I always thought it was kind of ridiculous. And then they just doubled down by doing the same jersey, like different colors. So can't say I'm a fan. It's Keith. It's Kith, right?
correct. Yes.
There was a person I know that mistakenly thought Kith was Keith, and they were explaining it to someone that was wearing a Kith thing, and they got very upset. So
Hmm.
I guess that's kind of the following that culminates within the people that think they need to put double letters of the font. So it's
Got it.
interesting. Yeah.
Sure. Checks out. Yeah.
It's a lot of, yeah, there's a lot of nuance to a nuanced thing.
Yeah. We got Kevin Knox. Show it for the people.
Oh yes, we have Kevin Knox. This is before Kevin Knox the second emerged from his later days on the Knicks, and yeah, this was an early buy-in and a very sad sell low.
Yeah. I mean, but hey, that shows the day ones. I mean, really, I could have had my Ntilikina shirt out, but
That would have been good. I thought you got rid of it.
I did. I was about to say,
You should have done it.
some
That
solo.
11,
I'd like
that
to
11
hope
would have
it
been
made
good.
its way back to France and somebody on the streets is wearing their Ntilikina shirts as he steps on the floor for the Olympics or FIBA or whatever. But it's
You can only dream.
probably ambitious thinking. Well, anyway, we're not talking about the Ntilikina Knox Knicks. There's brighter days going on right now, but still a lot of questions. We're gonna dive into the Knicks season thus far, talk a little bit about what we want to see the rest of the regular season, we want to pinpoint on. Gonna try to stay away from some playoff discussion because we're gonna have a lot to take in when they actually play the playoff games and we get their opponents and all that. But let's do a little regular season deep dive on the Knicks, see what we expected, what we see now, what we're looking for these last, I believe, 30 games. Everybody's kind of sitting at the 50-ish game mark, so home
Home
stretch
stretch.
starting. Yeah.
Ah, look at that.
Yes. What do you say
Yeah,
like
there we go.
what?
Huh?
Oh, home
We
stretch?
just we just home stretch at the same time, unless yours didn't sync up the way mine did.
I think it did. It's the hoop scoop. It's the hoop scoop vibes.
I have mine. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the no
Yeah.
hoop scoop.
Continue.
All right. So I got a few categories. So we'll dive into it, talk them step by step, see if anything sticks out. I know you said you had some mailbags to talk about later,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we can intermittently get those in. So let's start simple. You can lead it here, Phil. What's gone right for the New York Knicks on February 16th, 2026?
As of February 16th, I think there's been a good amount of pleasant surprises, parts of the game that we weren't particularly expecting, and kind of like friendly little things that are helping us see little positives throughout the season that we grow, as the team comes together more, we're gonna hopefully think that those stick together or they improve, and everyone kind of rallies around that. I think a lot of it has come from Josh Hart, where what I thought was going to be more of a lost season with his finger surgery that went awry, and he had to theoretically get another finger surgery or just play out the season, was going to lead to a lot of difficulties in the way Josh Hart impacts the game. I don't mean like the hustle and the rebounding. I think like the shooting that he was able to, have a respectable, I think he shot like 35% last year. Just kind of adding that element to his game and making it just another thing people have to keep track of when they're guarding him. I thought that was going to go away this year just because, when you're fair, I think it was it mallet finger. And
Yeah,
I know it's on the shooting hand. And
yeah.
apparently it was like, if you get surgery, you're out for 6 months. And then if it's on your hand, your shooting hand. So you're one not shooting, two can't dribble for all that time. So it's like he would have been back probably around nowish and he would have just been getting into the reps. So it's like he decides to just figure it out from now and like play the whole season with this mallet finger. You're like, okay, like obviously the shooting's not going to be better. Like that's going to severely suffer. And we were very wrong. So that's a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it's a good point with the heart thing because it's just another reminder to, and this one was a little bit more concrete because I mean people saw the photos of that finger and saw bad
Bad
stuff,
one.
so there was reason to be concerned. But at the same time, it's definitely a reminder to not give in to the preseason boredom tropes that are going to undoubtedly arrive for every team because yeah, Josh Hart's having a great season all around, and then especially shooting the ball. And I just looked up the number last year, 33%. This year, all the way up to just about
He's
41.
42, yeah, or
Yeah,
41 now. Yeah, I know he was cooking this year, yeah.
yeah, and they got him on just about 4 attempts a game. Now, it will be interesting to see how much they can really weaponize it throughout a competitive game against some of the better teams, especially throughout the rest of the regular season and going into the playoffs. Because I mean, I'm somebody that when I see Hart and I can see the way that the teams are guarding him, like I'd like him to have some games where he gets up 7, 8, 9 threes a game. Like who cares if teams are not going to guard you like that, you have to make them pay. You can't just have the percentages and then not use it. So I think that will be the question with Hart. Yeah, I just
Totally agree. That's why I've labeled it as a pleasant surprise. The theme here is there's little like positives, and then there's going to be some other things to talk about as we move forward, I think. What's your first um, gone right?
yeah. Well, I'd say generally it's business as usual for the Knicks, and I think right now it's just a good time to just kind of like accept like this. The Jalen Brunson has been an era of stability, and this is now year 4, looking like a top 4 team in the East just about, and playing well above 500 basketball in the 60s in terms of win percentage. And they're looking really good. And I think just staying healthy, having that consistency and stability throughout the whole season is something that we weren't used to for a good chunk of our Knicks fandom, and we're getting a little bit used to it now, which is nice. So I think before we get into our doubts and whatnot, I think that is the biggest thing. Is just it's good to have a Knicks team that is consistently in the playoff mix. In terms of like individual stuff, I'd say Mitchell Robinson has been a revelation, and I have more to say regarding Mitchell Robinson. And I know you have questions here and there about Mitch, but the impact he's had on the boards and then also defensively, and his ability to stay healthy enough has been big for me.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that my camera just shut off and it says I need to restart. So I don't know how you want to play that. I may have to do a quick reboot.
Well, if
But
you
but you
want,
got your takeoff.
you got my take.
I didn't want to cut your takeoff. That's the thing.
Yeah, we can. If you want to reboot, I could
You can vamp. I mean, if you want to vamp, vamp. This is your stage.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll talk about Mitch a little bit while Phil reboots, and I didn't want.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So for Mitch, he is doing something that you don't see too often, which is impact the game without being a scorer. And it's just great to see. And while Phil's gone, I will go through some crazy numbers involving Mitch. So first of all, the pairing of Mitch and Jalen Brunson together on the floor has a net rating of 12.4, which is absolutely out of this world. And it speaks to the ability that Mitch can provide for a smaller player like Jalen, because I think we all know Jalen's shortcomings as a player, but he is the Knicks' best player. So we are going to have to do our best to fill in the gaps with him defensively and on the boards. And Mitch is the perfect pairing for Brunson when he's healthy and when he's staying out of foul trouble, which is the other big thing. So I'm happy that Mitch has shown that he is able to be consistent on this team. Um, I'll go into some other positives while we wait for Phil to rejoin. So OG Anunoby, the health has been in and out, but I think on the floor he's been one of the more productive two-way players in the league. And I look at him in the same light as a player like Aaron Gordon for Denver. Uh, Trying to think of other guys that would be in terms of winning players. Oh, Phil, he's coming back.
I have to say okay again. All right, there we go. See, magic.
Okay, so I'm going to task you with something. So
Okay.
I ran out of Mitch content, so
I was in con for more than a minute.
no, but I went into OG and I said I compared
Okay.
OG. I'm saying I'm remarking how OG is the perfect two-way winning type of guy. I comped him to like an Aaron Gordon for Denver. Can you think of another guy on like a big time winning team that OG his impact could be similar to?
I really like the Aaron Gordon comp. I think they do a lot of the same things, although different ways. Like, but their offensive impact and their defensive impact are very vital to they kind of run things as well as like some nights they can take over the ball on offense and other nights they can just become a cog to run the offense around. I really like that one. I got to think of another person. I feel like in a more guard equivalent edition, it would be an easy one's Derek White. Just, is able to handle different tasks, wear a lot of different hats within an offense and a scheme for the entirety of the team.
Sure.
So that'd be my cop out because they're not very similar elsewise. But
Well,
I'd say
yeah, I'm not even looking at it from like a player um, play style, more so like an impact thing. I think like the top level of that is like Bam Adebayo, like when he was really cooking on those Miami teams in terms of
yeah, but we haven't like he hasn't been on a team where he can really be like a role lower, so then he's like perfectly in the spot he needs to be. He's always been like the one or two on
yeah.
Miami.
Realistically, Bam's probably the perfect three, which is like what a
Yeah.
guy like OG. Yeah. So
Yeah.
uh, okay, but yeah, I mean overall, I said I think did you intentionally cut out with my Mitch talk because you're
Did you not see my camera wasn't working?
no, I did, but I think it started happening when I started talking Mitch because I know that you have feelings.
You thought I didn't want Mitch to see this
Yeah,
and see I was hurt.
yeah, because Phil has a history of being a little bit sketched out on the
I'm a
Mitch
little
game.
Mitch conscious.
But okay, all right. So bottom line, Josh Hart playing well, Mitch Robinson playing well, Nick's doing pretty good.
And that was another silver line. Sorry, just to add, that was another happy, positive. The silver lining, small thing to add on. Mitch Robinson's been playing well, avoiding most of his normal injury nags, and yeah,
Yeah, and I mentioned Phil the two-man lineup of Brunson and Mitch, and I'm gonna get into this into our next category, but they haven't played it as much as I would have liked. But Brunson and Mitch together has been like one of the best pairings on the team. They have a net rating of 12.4. So, you know,
where is Cat and Kolek on that list?
Kolick numbers are getting harder and harder to find.
No, 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 no.
They're not
It just
coming.
keeps dipping down that list. Okay.
Yeah. Uh
You got any fun other combos?
12,
Like
12.9.
who's
12.9 I should say actually for Brunson Mitch. In terms of two
uh,
mans,
like what's the funkiest two man you can see on the front page?
the funkiest one,
Give me one and I want to guess the other.
the Clarkson Towns is not great.
I wasn't imagining Clarkson in any of these, so
Yeah, yeah.
all
Okay.
right. All
All
right,
right,
fine.
let's go to I had what's gone well, and as I said, the Knicks are having a good season. All right, and we're gonna talk about how maybe it hasn't been an amazing season, but it's been a good season. We're the 3 seed. It's going okay. So I don't want to say what's going poorly, but what's going meh. Let's talk about what's going meh.
Sure. So a lot of what we were talking about, I was mentioning silver linings, small positives, things that are good takeaways for the season. I think overall, it's not really giving us the things we want to see because the majority of the problems we had last year, the things no one liked and people talked about, are the exact same things. And we've just kind of forgotten they were a problem last year and they've just happened to resurface now. So we're not really moving forward in the direction that we want larger term. We're getting like nice little positives that should give us the right direction. Like maybe we'll be a lot better of a three-point shooting team. We'll be able to space the floor better for Cat and Brunson. Maybe Cat will become a better, more well-rounded player and like kind of get rid of some of the more immature ways he goes about his offense, goes about his defense more so. but we just haven't seen that yet. And so these little positives are nice, but I think it does kind of distract us from what the real picture is, which is we haven't made much progress and we're pretty marginally better than where we were.
Yeah, yeah, I can't disagree with the premise, and I'll get a little bit more into that with our Mike Brown report, which I have as
Yeah.
another category. But yeah, yeah, I mean, you look at just what the numbers are. It's third in offense, which like is very good. I mean, this is an offense that should be really good, and they are playing really well. Defensively, they're 11th, and I think that's where it's like a little bit of fool's gold because I don't think anybody who's watched this team this year thinks that they're like a fringe top 10 defense, especially when they play against really good teams. And even when they have bad losses, it's typically because they're letting inferior teams score too much. And it happened recently in that Indiana game where and Indiana has good players. Nobody thought Indiana was going to be as bad as they are now, but that's a game you got to win. That's a game you got to win at home, and they scored enough to win. Brunson scoring, I believe he had 40 in that game, but Siakam's doing whatever he wants. They can't contain Nemhard on the pick and roll, and it's just that's this kind of stuff that makes you concerned that like what's the next step for this team? Because it has to be more consistent on both ends. You have to get to a baseline defensively. And I think that's where we thought going into the season, maybe we can weaponize this double big lineup. And Mike Brown clearly went into the season thinking, like, this is going to be my stamp on this season. I mean, night one, we started with the double big, but it's kind of evaporated in a way. It happens sometimes, but not consistently. And the numbers are still pretty good on that lineup when they play. I forget the exact rating, but I believe it was like plus 6.4, which is close to or five something. But it's close to like what they are as a team. So it's not like they're really bad when they play that lineup, but they don't go to it very frequently. And then when they play that lineup, obviously you're taking Hart off the floor, who's been one of their better players. The more frequent thing we've seen with the Mitch element, who would be your key to a better defense, is taking Towns off the floor, which we've seen a few times this season where, okay, the Knicks actually look pretty good and Towns isn't on the floor. And that's probably not the most encouraging thing given what
Yeah.
you're expecting Towns to be. So, and you want Towns on the floor because he's your second best scorer, and we know that when he's rolling, he can be, one of the best scorers in the league, and he can help you win playoff series. I mean, they don't win that Detroit series last year without Towns. So I'm not trying to slight the big cat at all, but it's a balancing act of like as you're saying, like we know the baseline of this team, we know how talented they are, but how do they take that next step? And I don't think we figured it out like on either end because it seems like if we're gonna get the best offensive production, we're giving up defense. If we get the best defensive production, we're giving up offense, and we haven't figured out how to toe that line.
Yeah, no, I mean, it, there just hasn't been progression in the things that we really want to see. There's been nice things. I
Yeah.
don't know. I feels like there's a lot to like go, and I feel like it kind of it pushes forward into the Mike Brown conversation that I know you want to have. So if there's anything else you want to say, then
No, I mean I think that's it. I mean I think like the one, and it's funny because like in today's NBA, having the same core for 2 years is like known as it's like continuity. But the
it's on.
Knicks, yeah, it's. I mean we kind of Mikal Bridges is the guy. I don't think we've said his name yet, but like he's the name.
Who?
Yeah, go go Gadget.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I
That
mean,
guy, yeah, yeah.
I like Bridges. I like Bridges. He's a very good player. And I think that's another thing that Mike Brown went into the season trying to like stamp as his trademark. I mean, I remember night one, like Bridges was taking the ball up a ton. And it was like, okay, like I get what we're trying to do, but maybe we're just like forcing this. Like, I don't know. It's like when you're taking out you're taking a girl out on a date and you're just like, oh, like maybe we'll go to the maybe we'll go to to Six Flags and maybe we'll go to I don't know the ice cream shop after. Like I don't know,
What
maybe
what date are you going to Six Flags on?
me none, but I mean just
Well, if
don't
there was a date to take someone to Six Flags on, like the second,
you
fifth,
exact yeah, I don't know. You probably are out of ideas at that point. You're probably
okay, so we're talking like 10th, like
yeah,
we're just
you're
situation.
it's too
Yeah,
early and
okay.
you're crossing things off the list and you're trying to figure out how to make it work, but I think we just kind of have to accept some of these players for who they are. Like Mikal Bridges, he is who he is, and we're gonna either you have a more sophisticated offense to get him looks, or he's gonna produce the way he's been producing. But like trying to force feed him touches is probably not gonna be the answer, especially when you have Jalen Brunson, who, let's be real, for him to be as productive as he is, he's got kind of got to be force fed touches because he's guy that
Yeah.
gets the ball a lot. Um,
And everybody's just to be where he needs you to be. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, so let's transition that into the Mike Brown report because
Mhm.
we talk continuity, but the biggest change for this season was the head coach. So, what do we think? We're 50 games in.
I mean, I think we're pretty in line. Like, you knew my takes from the beginning. I always thought of it in terms of like taking Thibodeau out and putting Mike Brown in. It just off vibe felt very marginal of an improvement, if anything. Like the litmus for it to go worse or better is so small that it might not really matter in the aggregate. So going into the season, there's like different things that Mike Brown has a positive in. There's different things that are he has a negative in. Like he's more of a vibe. He tries to get with the young guys. He has the silly defensive player of the game thing, and everyone gets to wear Tims. I'm curious if they all have their own Tims that they wear. Do they share one large pair of Tims they can all fit into when they do the picture? But yeah, it's just little things like that. Like I don't really I don't know if
They
that's
spray the
he did it
Tims?
with the Kings.
Is it
They
like
lit the beat.
is it like a bowling alley? Do you think they sprayed the Tims afterwards or?
They should. There should be a guy for that. If not, I'd do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, my one thing was he's at least trying things. He tried a lot of different things. I liked the minutes before Alvarado got here. That's a different scenario. But I liked when he tried out Kolek and let him like kind of flesh out his game. He tried it as it was. Kolek was kind of in the backup unit and he clearly was suffering, and everyone was going well. And eventually he experimented with, okay, when Brunson comes out, Kolek with the starters, how does that work? Like putting Kolek in an offense that, spreads people out and there's already shooting around for when he's not really that much of a shooter right now. So like just playing around with different people and finding different sets that make sense for them. And then you take that secondary ball handler off the floor and he goes back to the offense where he wants Miles McBride and McCall to be like primary ball handlers in the backcourt when Brunson's off. And that was basically when we went on our little skid, I think, right after Christmas. So it's like little things where he pokes and prods. It's nice that he's trying, but also it's like sometimes, I don't know. It's hard to tell someone when to end the experiment.
Sure. Yeah. And I think that would be the biggest plus. And when it goes well, it's like fun to applaud a coach for doing
Right.
it different. And we got pretty used to Tibbs just penciling in certain lineups. I mean, I even looking at the lineup tool now, it's nice to see different combinations that you could look at. I mean, with Tibbs, it seemed like every year we had the most played lineups.
Yep.
Most played 5 man, most played 4 man. So he is trying different stuff. He's willing to go 2 point guards on the floor at the same time. He's willing to go small around Mitch. Like he'll throw out Brunson, Bridges, Hart, and then
OG will be at the five if you
yeah,
really
sure, he'll do
he
whatever.
plays around.
Yeah. So that's good. It's a nice change of pace. But yeah, overall schematically, it does seem like we've kind of reverted, and it does seem like. Listen, I was somebody also that going into the season when we changed the coach, I wasn't super against it because I Tibbs did a lot for the Knicks, but I was never a huge Tibbs guy, so I wasn't up in arms as other people were. But I also didn't think the issues that we had last year was because of the coaching. I mean, yeah, Tibbs had his downfalls, but like I don't think the Knicks blew the Pacers series because of Tibbs. I don't think that the offense got stale because of Tibbs. I do think that the players have to figure some of that out. So some of that they've figured out at times this year. A lot of it they haven't. They've played well enough to be where they are. But if I'm talking like Mike Brown satisfaction poll, I'd probably give him a 6 out of 10 right now. Like it's fine.
I was thinking 6-2. And it's not taking anything away from Mike Brown or Tibbs. I mean, they're both good coaches. It's
Yeah.
just when you make that move, you're like, okay, if they're getting rid of Tibbs, they must have some kind of grand scheme plan. Leon's cooking something where someone's coming out of the woodwork and it's going to be an elevation that is very clear from day one, not, okay, we're going to do Mike Brown and like, let's see how we feel. And that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, and a name we have to bring up, who I thought Brown did a pretty good job of getting him in the right lineups, was McBride, and I actually think
Yeah.
McBride. I- It's kind of thinking about it now. I do think actually maybe some of his leap could be due to Brown because I don't know like what this looks like with Tibbs, where we know the lineups that Tibbs is going to throw with Brunson and Harden. Like he's going to throw all of them together all the time. He's going to do his straight bench units. But Brown did a pretty good job of throwing McBride into lineups with Brunson, throwing him with Bridges and OG, and getting him playing with the starters and mixing him in. And he was having a career year, and now he's hurt and he's getting abdominal surgery. Like that sounds terrible. I would not want
Yeah.
abdominal surgery. And
Sports hernias are no joke.
yes,
Not fun.
so that's an issue. And that's it sucks because if there were any player on the Knicks that you would say like that guy is taking a leap from last year this year, it would definitely be him.
Yeah.
So that's tough. They're gonna have to navigate that. Hopefully he's good for the playoffs, but I don't know. It might be a little bit lofty to just go right off of a certain.
Awesome right there. Yeah.
So
I will.
that's a tough one. That's a tough one. All right. Anything? I mean, yeah, with Brown, like we'll see. We know what he'll be. The bottom line is the bar is the Eastern Conference Finals at this point, so he kind of does have to do that.
Right. And the problem is we're still at the point of like, we'll see.
Yeah,
Like we're at the same point we were in the beginning of the year where we're like, I guess we can't really like take anything away yet.
yeah,
He's done some good things, he's done some bad things, but they don't no
yeah.
one's outweighing the other.
And because going into the season, I mean, I didn't put it on paper or anything, but I did. I picked the Knicks to win the East, and I still would pick the Knicks to win the East. But there was a world going into the season where like the Knicks have the best offense in the league, and they're on pace to win 60 games. Like that wasn't impossible.
Yeah,
That was
sure. Yeah.
that was the world where like they look as good as they possibly could, and that hasn't happened. So we're not at the top tier outcome thus far, and we'll see how the rest of the season materializes. But we've had some ugly games. I mean, recently we got blown out by Detroit. I know we were missing some guys that game. OG wasn't playing, but like
Yeah.
stuff like that you don't love to see. So
Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to see how the rest of the season goes. Hopefully by the end we're gonna see, I mean, from my guesstimate or hope, we're gonna see some more continuity with our three-point shooting so we can have a little more space on the floor because by the time playoffs come around, everything shrinks. I think we're gonna get hunted in that way. Like no one's gonna be afraid of our shooters as opposed to like it's basically you push Cat off the line or the arc and then it's like you just have to guard McCall or Brunson off a kick out and like it's not the worst thing, not the hardest thing to do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, there's definitely an element of predictability to
Yeah.
some of what they do. A couple other names. I mean, Shaman's had a good year.
Shaman has a good year. I will give that to ShamWow. He's done very well this year.
Shaman's had a good year. Diawara coming around a little bit, shooting a pretty decent number from three.
Now and again. He
Cannot.
likes to come around and then go away. Come around, go away.
All right, so what is we got 30 games left. Let's not project too much, but like what if you were to say one thing to kind of pinpoint on these next 30 games, like what would you look at?
Um, it feels like the easy thing to say, but I mean, I'd like to say it's more of like the development with Diawara, McCullough. I think McCullough could have some very interesting moments. Probably not this year, but maybe next. But I think the easiest and like most glaring thing would be Cat, like how he's going to conduct himself. What kind of smaller tweaks is he going to make to his game? Is he really? I mean, he just loves the top of the arc and he likes one dribble drives or just pulling. So it's like, can you add diversity? Can we get you back into the post? Can you be more comfortable? Can you facilitate from there? It's like different little nuances to the game that we've seen. He basically has just become a video game of he does this one thing very well. So like, why would I do anything else?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do a little cat sidebar actually because I
Okay.
do think
Okay.
if we're going
Little bodega bar.
yeah, let's take a second and let's get a little Aki way
Hmm.
because
What is Aki? Is it a certain style or do you just put chips on it? Or is the Aki guy has to
the
Aki
Aki
weigh it?
guy, the Aki guy, he does something with it, throws it on the
Is he
Aki way.
still
He
is
puts
he still a guy or
I think he's alive.
does he have like chain restaurants like the Salt Bay guy now? It
Um,
seems like the progression if you have any kind of TikTok food,
I think he'll come
that's
out with
it.
he'll probably come out with a sauce. That's what I would say.
Okay, so he's at that level.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, let's because if we're going like Skip Bayless uh esque, who has the most pressure on them, it's Towns because this guy's he's the one that gets thrown around in trade conversations. He's the one that has the crazy contract that people are not fully sold on what his long-term futures with the Knicks. But and just listen, I didn't pick him as an all-star. I don't think that this.
I watched.
Yeah, you're there. I didn't think this has been an all-star season. And look at the numbers. He's not having a bad season, but the scoring average is the lowest since his rookie year. The 3-point percentage is lower than usual. Also, the lowest since his rookie year. Not by a ton, but it's 19.8 points per game, 35% from three. Field goal percentage also lowest since this is actually lowest of his career this year. His field goal percentage, 46.6. He's getting to the line a little bit more, so the efficiency is not bad, but it's not great for a player of his style because one thing about Towns, and I think people overlook this, is people call him like a great offensive player, and he's a great scorer. I don't think he is an elite offensive player because he doesn't play make. He doesn't. His assist to turnover is not good. And if you're going to just be a scorer, which is fine, I mean, scoring is great. You need scorers, but if you're gonna be that level of scorer, you have to do it like really efficiently, and you have to do it consistently. And I don't doubt that Towns can do it because we know he can. And as I just said, like we won playoff series last year because of him. But there is going to have to be some kind of effort for the rest of the regular season to get him into a rhythm because he hasn't been in full rhythm this year. We've seen him press the issue. The hooks have been a higher. It's a higher hook per capita rate than I've ever seen. It seems like the dude cannot drive the ball without hooking somebody. So I'd like to see them do something to get him to more into rhythm, whether it be more Brunson, cat pick and roll. I don't know. Like I started to realize why they don't do it that much, and I think it's because I don't think Cat's a great screener. Like he
We've
looks,
talked about this. He's a
yeah,
bad screener. It's either like a foul every time or like he doesn't even make contact 'cause he's already slipping to the arc for a pop.
yeah, he doesn't look
Yeah.
comfortable like doing the maneuver of a screen. So
Doesn't like
it's
it.
it's easy to say like yeah, just do Brunson cat pick and roll, but like it does it's
It doesn't
clunky.
work. It doesn't
Yeah,
work in actuality. Yeah.
it works sometimes, and I think that if they played, I think if they played better defense, it would probably help because it's easier to get him those trail threes and to get him more off of, he's trailing, pump fake, drives past a big man when you're playing with a little bit more pace. So that could go a long way. But like he is kind of the key because I like Bridges, but like the ship sailed on like Bridges scoring 20 a game. That's just not going to happen. I'm just kind of hoping Bridges can give us, 16, 17, 18 a game in a playoff series. But for this team to like really get its upside to top level, like they're going to need Towns to be an elite scorer. They're going to need him to give you
Yeah.
25 a game in a playoff series.
You're
So
going to need to have a team that can make up for his lapses on the facilitating side. So when Brunson's off the floor, which I think they tried to do with Jose Alvarado, as well as like defensively, like where there's going to be clear struggles. And we're going to see like Sohan at the five, even though Cat's out there. So it's just like weird stuff that you have to kind of like bits and piece together.
yeah, yeah, and I think they can do it. But there's gonna have to be more of an effort on Brown's end of like, okay, like how do we build this offense not just around Brunson, but how do we build it around Brunson and Towns? And maybe it just doesn't work, and maybe they kind of fall flat on their face. But like we know that just dribble, dribble, dribble offense with Brunson, like it's only gonna get you so far. So and Brunson's amazing. He's the best player on the team. I have no questions with like his production and like what he's gonna give you. That's why I don't think we're really talking about him too much because like he's pretty solidified in terms of what he can do on offense.
To be
Uh,
fair, though, Cat does like whenever we're winning, it's Brunson. Whenever we're losing, it's Cat. And not to say it's always wrong, but it is. I mean, it's sometimes right, but I feel like sometimes the blame does get shifted a little too easily to Cat. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of him, just watching offensively, just or defensively, just because the way we're trying to construct our team. So it's like we have these weird giant like black holes on defense trying to be filled with these people that are very competent.
Yeah, I think the reason I usually say it's Cat, like in that argument, is because like I'm usually like we lost because of defense, and Brunson and Cat are both bad at defense, but Brunson's better at offense.
Yeah,
So,
he offenses, yeah.
um,
Fair.
and also Brunson, he's able to like, I mean, and Brunson's leading the league in charges taken, which is like crazy.
It is good, but he's been doing it. He's been like top five the last 2 or 3 years. So
I don't know. Do you have any bodega sidebars to add to that?
no, you pretty much covered it.
Okay. But yeah,
It's,
I
it's
think
that.
I think we're on the same page. The
Yeah,
screen.
we're on too much of the same page. We need some Bayless
What would
banter.
you do to try to get Towns into more of a like? Is there anything you think, or is this just?
I can't get my head inside the mind of a cat. I'm more of like a dog person.
Yeah, Alvarado's kind of a dog.
It wasn't even a good joke. I don't want to redact it. Take it back.
Okay.
Cut it. Guy in the booth. Tell the guy in the booth to cut it.
Okay. Cut. Okay. All right. So last category before we can throw some email bag if you have, but
Okay.
you're gonna be feeling jolly if blank happens heading into the playoffs. Like fast forward to like April 12th or whatever. Like what's going on with the Knicks that would give you a good amount of confidence?
I mean, the things I'd want to see are kind of what we already been talking about, where we have the I just don't think they're going to happen, honestly. I think we would need the shooting to then be respectable. Some people are actually afraid of our shooters that theoretically are on the arc when Brunson and Cat are driving. And that comes from Shamit. That comes from Bridges, Alvarado hitting threes, maybe Kolek's playing well. Dior is just like a useful 5 to 10 minutes stretch four. I mean, I don't think in that time frame it's becomes like an overnight. We respect you from the arc, so like we have to actually guard you from there. So people are just going to continue to clog the paint whenever they see Brunson or Cat driving, or just make Brunson mid range just a lot harder. So it would be that, but I know it's pretty unrealistic. What's yours?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good way to put it. I mean, I think in that light, the key is Bridges because I also think Bridges is a guy that, especially on this team, I think his offensive confidence kind of starts from like making open threes. Like I think once
Yeah. Mm.
if he misses some threes, I do think that the rest of his game gets a little shakier. And then he starts looking a little bit too much for the mid range and all that. But I think he's the guy that like if he's there and he's able to spread the floor for you and hit some transition threes and just open everything up for Brunson and Towns, then we'll be in good shape. Like I think if he ends this season on a nice note, kind of scoring 20 to 25 a game or something like that down the stretch, like that would be nice. I think that would put us in a good position. But
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And the way he's doing it, yeah.
okay.
Like if he's just drilling threes, I like that. Okay.
All right, so now I know we weren't gonna do it, but what would be your let's go for
It's a
entertainment purposes.
surprise. Okay.
What would be your favorite? Because I don't think we're gonna ride out the rest of the regular season, but I don't anticipate doing another Knicks deep dive until we're previewing playoffs. So like, what would be your for entertainment purposes your ideal matchup in the first round?
I do a match from the first round. It's tough because I would want to see like a good matchup. Like I want to see the Knicks get. I mean, it's either that or they just body. I don't know. Like
I don't think they're bodying any of these teams, honestly.
I mean, I think there are some low like you get a weird play-in situation and you could be playing
I
the
think
Hawks maybe if they just
that
go on
would
a weird
be. I
run. You know what I mean?
think we could body Atlanta. I think Toronto could get bodied, honestly, but
Yeah. Actually, I think Toronto could just throw a lot of problems at us because they have the size to like
I just don't know if they're
at
scoring.
least make it tough.
I just
They're
don't know
not
if
going to score, no, but they can muck it up.
that's a team that like I don't think the Knicks have to play great defense against to like hold down, you know.
That's true. But
But
then they can just play good defense, and then
you're
it's like
wrong.
it
Toronto's
works
probably gonna
so
upset them in six. All right, what's your pick? I have my pick.
well. For most fun,
Yeah.
I mean, most fun would be somehow the Wizards sneak into the playoffs. We get their pick, and then we get to mollywop Trey. It's just a beautiful synergy. So, I mean, that's the funnest. Is it going to happen? Maybe. They're not statistically eliminated yet.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, how you like that?
That's good. That's good. I think the Philly series would be great. I mean, that was a great series a couple
Oh
years
yeah,
ago.
that'd be a lot of fun.
So
I'd be a little afraid of that one. It's a little too much fun for the first round.
I mean, last year was fun but not fun. So I'm kind of used to it at this point.
Okay, fine. I mean, the last 2 years have been fun, but not fun. Oh, all right. You got anything else?
And that pretty much covers it. But did you have mailbags? Was that
I
real?
have I have a mailbag, so if there is anybody that wants to get their questions on this pod, send them to us somewhere, some way, somehow. So I have one from Ezra in New Jersey. He wants you, big fan of the show, he said.
Yeah.
Yours on mine.
Yeah, it's a weird
Save
name.
the All-Star game in less than 10 words.
Unks and Europeans and young people. It was mediocre.
Okay.
I guess that
Feels
was. I
more
guess that was
feels
10.
more reactionary than solutionary, but okay.
Oh, fix. I thought you said summarize.
Oh, fix,
Oh,
fix.
fix the All Star game. Fix the All Star game is East versus West Elam ending. Keep it simple.
Really? You think that's gonna do it?
I thought the Elam ending was fine. I mean, I don't
I
care.
didn't watch any of this All-Star. I
I
just heard no
don't
one watched
care.
it as well, so I
I
was
have
like, I'm
much.
gonna say
I have much more interesting solutions to the like tanking situation. Like I don't care the All Star game. I haven't cared.
everybody's talking tanking now. Do you have a better take than the world?
I think I have some good solutions. I mean, they all require like some games to be cut, which I guess the league would never do. But uh,
What if we just all agreed as fans to watch like a game's worth of commercials, and then we would get to have less games but better tanking?
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'd do that. I mean, it's what, like a half hour of your time? It's almost like watching an episode of like The Office, but you're just going through Arby's and Wegovy commercials.
Anything to say about the KD files?
No, I wasn't in them, so I'm fine and I'm happy.
It's pretty sad, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, but he's got a lot of time in his hands, and clearly he has a very specific thing he likes to do with said time.
It would have been a good thing the Knicks didn't trade for him.
Yeah, well, yeah, we could have had him, Kyrie, and Zion, so what a life.
All right.
All right, I have one more from
Okay.
Evan in San Francisco.
Okay, good one.
He didn't say anything about being a fan of the show, but he said you have to pick your favorite. Actually, no, not favorite. Who do you think is which G League Igniter is going to have the best career?
So the current igniters are Jalen Green.
Scoot, Jalen Green, Maudas, Dyson Daniels, Kuminga.
Uh,
There are a few others, but I don't think we need to talk about them.
I mean, I know that. I like Buzels.
I'm on the Buzelis wave. I think the two guys that are just like crazy bucket getters or like they just are inefficient bucket getters and Jalen Green and Kuminga have their role, and it's these kind of Dyson Daniels, Buzelis might be better fits just for everybody because they're just gadget guys that can do a lot for your offense and elevate.
Yeah, the Daniels thing. I mean, it's tough.
I mean, I like him.
He
I
really
made my case.
really can't make jump shots though. It's
But he can do it sometimes. Last year he kind of could.
you realize what he's shooting this year, right?
I said last year. Last year he kind of could. This year it's bottomed out. Next year we'll rebound back to kind of.
He's taken 75 threes. Do you know how many he's made?
16.
10.
Wow.
You just text. Is this true?
They can't. They're lying. It's a deep fake.
Yeah. No. Okay.
I might have to check your sources on that. Get a second opinion.
It's right there. It's been going around. That stat's been thrown. It's people have been having fun with it.
Okay.
All right, Phil. I mean, that's pretty good. Knicks deep dive. You know, we'll
Yeah.
see. They are like a wait and see team. I mean, this is like this is the regular season. We'll see what happens. I think can they get the 2 seed at least? Like just for us?
Maybe.
Maybe not the 1 seed.
No, let me see.
All right. All right, Phil. Any closing remarks?
No, thanks for having me on. It's good to see everybody.
All right, fellas. I appreciate it. Buddha Talks Hoops, episode 4 in the books.
Four.
Next, yeah, 4. Next deep dive, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.